This episode of Eminence Legacy podcast is brought to you by FE26 Legion, built for disciplined, not the distracted. Every FE26 design is released for a limited season and then retired into the vault. No restocks, no reruns. If you're wearing FE26, it's not because you followed a trend, it's because you live by a standard. Find the current season at fe26legion.com. Discipline remains, the Legion endures. Somewhere along the way, you stopped confronting what you already knew, and you started building your life around avoiding it. Not because you were weak, because avoidance became useful. It helped you keep things stable, keep things moving, keep people comfortable. And after enough time passed, you stopped calling it avoidance. And you started calling it being realistic, being responsible, waiting for the right time. You're probably listening to this while doing something else right now. Driving, working, commuting somewhere, moving through another routine you've memorized already. But underneath all that, there's something sitting in the back of your mind that keeps returning. Because deep down, you already know it needs your attention. Not eventually, now. Welcome back to the Eminence Legacy podcast. I'm Jose Luis Cadena, and today we're talking about the decision you've never made that still shaped your life anyway. See, this happens everywhere. In the United States, it looks like consuming content about change every day, while your real life stays untouched. In the United Kingdom, it looks like staying in something familiar because starting over feels irresponsible. And in parts of Latin America and West Africa, it looks like watching everybody around you survive so hard that nobody even stops to ask if the direction itself is slowly destroying them. Different countries, different pressures, same hesitation. Because the problem was never awareness. It was courage. Now let's stop pretending for a second. You knew. Not dramatically. Not loudly. But clearly. This comes as no surprise to you. A relationship that stopped feeling honest. A direction that no longer matched who you were becoming. A version of yourself you outgrew years ago, but kept performing because everybody around you got used to it. And instead of confronting it, you adjusted around it. That's what people do. They don't remove the problem. They reorganize their life around avoiding it. And after enough time passes, the avoidance starts feeling normal. Now you keep asking life for another sign, while ignoring the fact that your exhaustion was the sign. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because once something becomes familiar, even if it's draining you, even if it's hurting you, your mind starts calling it safe. So now you stay. Not because it fulfills you, not because it reflects who you are, because you learned how to survive there. Hey, I get it, I've been there. But you know what's crazy? Most people do not actually need another answer. They need courage to stop lying to themselves about what they already know. That is the real war. Maybe it's a business that no longer feels connected to you, who you are, but you keep feeding it because it works. Maybe it's a relationship where both people already know the truth, but nobody wants to be the one who finally says it out loud. Maybe it's a version of yourself that everybody praises publicly, while privately you feel disconnected from your own reflection. And the worst part, you already knew. You knew this. At some point, you stopped choosing your life and you started managing the consequences of avoiding it. And let me say something uncomfortable. Some of you aren't confused anymore. You're negotiating with reality, hoping the truth changes. Maybe if you wait long enough. But the truth does not change because you delay it. Truth waits, and every day you ignore it. What's obvious? The next move becomes heavier and heavier. Not because life is pushing you, because avoidance has momentum. Some of what you already know wasn't figured out by you alone. Some moments arrive with clarity attached to them. Not to confuse you, not to tease you, but to redirect you. But every time you ignored what was clear, you moved further away from alignment. And hear this carefully, because this is where people wake up. If they are honest enough, misalignment doesn't always destroy your life immediately. Sometimes it lets you succeed first. That's why it's dangerous. Because now you start believing if it's working, it must be right. No. Sometimes success is just proof that you became skilled at functioning inside something that no longer reflects you. Now, we've talked about alignment in our past episodes, but the scary part isn't failing. It's waking up one day and realizing that your life, the life you built, required you to abandon too much of yourself just to keep alive. So what do you do now? Not everything. Just this. Stop acting surprised by what you already know. You have delayed it long enough. Tell yourself the real reason you stayed. Not the polished reason, the honest one. Stop making excuses. Make one move that interrupts the pattern. Not a conversation about the move. Not another plan about the move. The move itself. Even if it's small, it will be powerful. Even if nobody sees it yet. Because eventually, your life stops changing from what you know and starts changing from what you finally confront. So do me a favor. Ask yourself this honestly. What are you still tolerating that you already know is costing you? And notice how fast the answer shows up. Because that's the part nobody escapes. You already know. You just haven't wanted to say it out loud yet. Let's do that today. Next, we're going deeper. Not into what you ignored. Into who you become when you spend years choosing comfort over confrontation. This isn't for everyone. Because some people hear truth and immediately start looking for a way around it. See, legacy builders do not do that. They confront it, move with it, build from it. They keep pressing on. So don't just listen to this episode. Respond to it. And if you're listening through a link or on Chrome, go follow on Spotify or Apple, because this podcast isn't background noise. It's a mirror. Most people will keep negotiating with what they already know. Keep delaying it. Keep explaining it. Keep waiting for clarity they already have. But a small percentage will finally get tired of hearing the same truth and doing nothing with it. The question is, which one are you? This is the Eminence Legacy podcast. And remember, you knew. You just didn't move. Together, let's rise to our eminence. Catch you in the next one.